I'm Dr. Julianne. I'm your Haka Life physical therapy coach. Just so you remember, I do have my doctorate in physical therapy, and I've been a PT for about 6 years. I've helped hundreds of people on their journey to better health, especially as it relates to musculoskeletal problems. Now today we're going to talk about neck arthritis. I'll give you some tips and a few exercises. We'll also talk a little bit about what arthritis actually means in the spine. So before we get going today, you're going to need a TheraBand. I have a really long one, which would be great if you have today. If you have a shorter one, that's okay. We'll figure it out. We'll make some modifications. And you also need an empty doorway, which I think most people have in their house somewhere. So that's what you need today. Now, before we get into the exercises, I do want to mention that arthritis in the neck typically comes from, it's a degenerative change that can happen to just about anybody. It's a buildup of extra bone around the joints, but that's not something to panic about. So often it first shows up as stiffness when you're looking one direction or the other, up or down. And a lot of times then that can start leading into pain. A lot of times that happens because people stop using that painful or that stiff direction. So it hurts to look when I'm driving to my right, so I'm just not going to look that way anymore. And that's one of the worst things you can do. You almost want to move into the stiffness that you're feeling. So that's one big thing. The other big thing to pay attention to is your posture and positioning throughout the day. Now here's the big thing. There is no perfect posture. All right, I don't expect you to sit upright perfectly in this position all day long and never deviate from it. Actually, if you do that every day, you're going to end up with some problems because what the body needs and what the body is designed for is a variety of postures, a change in position. So even if you sit slumped for 20 minutes, 30 minutes, and then go do something else or change your position, I'm totally fine with that. It just needs to be a variety of positions every 20, 30 minutes. That's kind of the big thing you need to pay attention to. Okay, so that's that. Let's get into the exercises. The first exercise today is called chin tucks. So it's a little bit of a different exercise, especially when you're first learning it. Give yourself some time. It's probably going to take a little bit, but it's a great exercise to help reverse this lordotic curve in the neck, which happens when you're sitting hunched forward all the time, constantly, or on your phone all the time. Then the muscles in the back of the neck tend to get really short and it's hard to get into a more upright position. So this one will help with that. It helps stretch out those suboccipitals, which are the muscles that attach your skull to your spine. So bear with yourself, really give this one a try though. Okay, so this one's, you're gonna start sitting up nice and tall, and then I want you to think about bringing your head straight back on your spine and making a double chin. I apologize, it's not a very attractive exercise. So maybe you could do it in the bathroom where someone can't see you, but whatever works for you. So it looks like this. Okay, so your head's going straight back on your spine. I have that double chin. Notice my mouth is closed and these neck muscles aren't popping up. Everything's relaxed here. So you're just gliding straight back. You're gonna hold that for 5 seconds. Do about 10 of them, 2 or 3 times a day. More if you can. Once you get a hang of it, it's a really versatile exercise to do while you're sitting at a red light, while you're driving, or when you have a spare second when you're talking on the phone. Any time like that works great. Okay, so that's your first one. The second exercise is a progression of the chin tuck. So you need to have the chin tuck down first before you do the second one. And it's just an even better stretch for those suboccipitals. You'll even get a stretch down into like the middle of your shoulder blades. So those muscles get a good stretch from this one as well. So it starts the same way. You're gonna glide straight back on your spine and then look down. Okay, so the big part with this one is you have to keep the chin tuck before you look down. So often people get the chin tuck and then they just look down. Okay, so you gotta stay in the chin tuck as you look down towards your chest. With that one, hold it for 10 seconds, once, maybe 2 or 3 times a day. Okay, so really great one once you have the chin tuck down. Okay, now the third one today is a really great exercise for cervical and thoracic rotation. So this movement, which we don't do a lot of in our daily lives. We spend a lot of time in these straight planes looking straight ahead. So the more we can get both of those directions moving, the better things are gonna feel. So for this one, you just need to lay down. You have a nice area to lay down. Okay, so we'll go right here. Now you're gonna lay on one side, knees up, hands out in front of you. And then it's always nice to have a pillow here. I don't have a pillow, but you can just relax your head down. I don't want you holding your head up the whole time. Okay, so you're nice and relaxed here. And then you're gonna bring that top arm up and back. Okay. Kind of at a diagonal, so it's going this direction. And I follow it with my head. And then back down. So you hold for 2 to 3 breaths when you're back there, and then come back here. Do about 10 of them, 2 or 3 times a day. But again, more if you can. Okay, and I'll show you from the other direction here. Here. And actually scoot down. There we go. Good. Okay, so those are your first few exercises for neck arthritis. I have 2 more, but I'm gonna meet you at the doorway for the last 2. I'll see you there. Okay, so here we are at the doorway for our last 2 exercises. The first one is what you need your resistance band for. So I have a really long one. If you have a short one, that's totally fine. You're just gonna do this exercise sitting down and use your bottom as the anchor point. So you're gonna sit on one end of the resistance band and then hold the other. So for me though, I have a long one, so I'm gonna be standing. I put my foot on one end of the band, hold with the other end, and you're gonna start with your arm a little bit, lower than your shoulder. And then you're just gonna come up to shoulder height where my hand is in line with my shoulder, and you're gonna come back down. Make sure it's nice and slow and controlled, especially on the way down. Make sure you don't shrug your shoulder. Okay, notice my thumb is pointing up in the direction that we're going, so that's how you want your hand to be. This is a really great one for shoulder strength, and it also relates to the neck because the neck and shoulder are so closely related. If one's really strong, it's gonna help the other one out. So that's a way to do it with a resistance band. You can also use a can of soup, just holding it just like this. I also have my bottle of juice here, and I can grab the top of it. Notice my finger and my thumb, the grip is about where they meet, which is what I talked about in my last video, so it's a good grip size. And it's the same thing here, okay, just with some weight. I want you to do 3 sets of 10, just about every day, maybe even every other day, depending on how difficult it is. If you're doing 1 set of 10 and you get to 10 and it feels like a piece of cake, make it harder. Make the resistance band shorter or use a heavier object. If it's really hard, then back off, of course. But so 3 sets of 10 with that one. And then our very last one is a great one for your pectoral muscles here. These are the ones that get really short because we spend so much time here, texting on our computer, all that fun stuff. So if we can get things opened up here, that actually takes some stress off of the neck. So this is the one you need a doorway for. So you're just gonna put your arm on the side of the doorway. Notice my elbow is also being supported by the doorway, right? I don't want it all the way out here. You want it here. And then you're just about parallel with the doorway, and you're gonna lean forward, mostly with this shoulder, right? You're not doing a whole body thing here. Mostly forward, kind of from this side and this shoulder. And you can play around with the angle. You can go down, you can go up, whatever feels better for you. This is a pretty good stretch here, right in here for me. So this one you're gonna hold for 10 seconds. Do it 5 times, 2 or 3 times throughout the day. And I'll show you the other angle here. Okay, so another really great stretch. Even if you only have a minute in between tasks at work, whatever, if you only get 1 set in, do it, go for it. So those are our tips and exercises for neck arthritis. And remember, at Haka Life Nutrition, we believe in a whole body approach. Get moving daily, eat well, and use quality supplements. Remember, you are a warrior and you can do anything you put your mind to.